Hey, NFA family. Today we are going to talk about fear, specifically the top 3 fears about your business that keep you up at night. I want you to think for a second about the last time you stayed awake in bed, maybe excited or maybe fearful. And when I say fearful, it could be that you stayed up thinking, what do I do next? How am I going to have this happen? I'm not sure where my business is going. I don't know what to do. Or maybe you were excited and you had a whole bunch of brainstorms. Often for me, my fear will show up as trying to solve a puzzle. And when I say trying, I will lay up all night and my brain will be solving problems. It's like, oh, what do I do with this lead magnet? And how do I have this conversation with this client? And how do I get new clients into my business? And ooh, if I create a new this or a new that, what will happen then? And so I've really learned over the last few years to reframe my fear as excitement. And when I really dig into it, I think it's probably fear. And I wanted to talk to you about this because I see this coming up with all the people I get to work with and all the conversations I get to have. We are either in a state of fear or inspiration, fear or gratitude, fear or appreciation, fear or love, fear or zone of genius. And so this is a really important conversation and an important topic for you to consider as we talk today about those top 3 fears. If it's your first time here, I'm Dr. Amanda Barrientos, the founder of NFA Money and the host of Max Potential Money. This is your place to come each and every week for tips and tools to optimize your mindset, your energy, your habits to help you make more money in your business. My main mantra and motto that you've heard me say before is to work less, make more, and have fun. And so all the topics I bring to you here are about just that. And today, when we break down fear, I want you to really self-reflect and think, what is it that keeps me up at night about my business? What do I pretend that I'm not afraid of and avoid, and then it grows? Because what you avoid persists and grows in size and subconsciously keeps you blocked and stuck. Remember, under the law of attraction, you get what you predominantly feel, think about consciously or unconsciously, and put out there in your vibrational frequency. So if you're in a state of fear a lot of the time, you are making your work much, much harder. So we want to get conscious of our fears so that we can face them, feel them, allow them to transform instead of avoiding them, blocking them, and thinking that that somehow is going to magically make them go away. It doesn't. It actually makes it take longer for you to get where you want to go. So first, I'm going to outline the top 3 fears that I see coming up for myself and other people that I've gotten to work with over and over again, and then we're going to break each one of them down. So the top 3 are, it's not happening fast enough. Number 2, there's no way they'll pay for that. And number 3, I'm not an expert. So let's break each of these down and think about how they keep you up at night. Number 1, it's not happening fast enough. First, I want you to think about how when you have the thought, it's not happening fast enough, it's a scarcity mentality, right? Some of this comes from you probably negatively self-comparing to someone else that you are looking at as a model. Let's say you're watching a whole bunch of other coaches and online entrepreneurs who are highly successful and you're going, but I'm not getting there as fast as them. Why am I not getting there as fast as them? And then you realize they're 10 years into business, they're 15 years into business, and you need to stop and think and retrain your brain in the direction of noticing, hey, I'm playing this game at my speed, at my pace. I'm growing at the perfect rate for my capabilities at the moment. When you are ready, you will up level. When you are ready, new opportunities will be brought your way. And take steps every single day, but be patient and consistent. And when I say patient, it's interesting to say this because I'm sure you're thinking like, I want it to happen fast. You can have things happen very fast. And if you are impatiently forcing and pushing, it'll take longer. So you actually have to build more patience in that situation. And I can say this because what happens when you're doing that, when you go like, it's not happening fast enough, what will happen in your behavior is that shiny object syndrome usually is what happens. So what happens is you put out a new project, a new program, a new service, and you start hustling. Let's say you're like, I gotta get people there. I'm doing the work that it takes. And and then you don't get the results that you want fast enough. So then you quit and you move on to something else, and then you never get to build momentum. I've done this in my business many times, and I think I masked it pretty well in my mind. I used, my powerful mindset, which all of you have. We can justify things and go like, I don't do that. And then when you really dig into it, you go like, oh, maybe I have done that. So I want you to be really brutally honest with yourself here and go, am I engaging in shiny object syndrome because of this fear it's not happening fast enough? So you put something out there, you don't really ever let it grow legs or traction, and before it has an opportunity to be successful and to make maybe some tweaks, instead of throwing the whole thing out, you just throw it out and move on to the next thing. And then you do the cycle again, and you're going to exhaust yourself. And I know, because I've done it in my history. So take a deep breath and allow yourself to slow down, be patient, and let go of your fear that it's not going to happen for you, that because it's not happening fast enough, you're never going to get there. You can absolutely get there. Remember, strategic, patient, consistent action leads to inevitable success. Yes, you're going to have to make some tweaks and pivots along the way. Yes, you might need to make some pretty big tweaks and pivots, but I don't want you to think that every time something isn't successful immediately that you need to throw the whole thing away. This happens. I see it all the time, where people don't think their program is successful fast enough, and so then they start all over, they get really discouraged and they get burnt out, and they feel like there's this sense of hopelessness. It's like, oh my God, shiny object syndrome. So then they go to the next thing, right? So they're scattered in their thinking, they're scattered in their approach. They think they made a mistake choosing the wrong business or the wrong model or, the wrong audience, the wrong everything. And then they rethink it all because it's not happening fast enough. When you got to ask yourself, fast enough compared to who or what? You're in your own race. So just be conscious if this fear is operating for you and how it might show up. Another way it's not happening fast enough might show up for you is that you think, I'm too old, it's too late. Like, oh no, it's not happening fast enough, so I'm too old. What if this never happens? What if I don't make it in time? What if I'm not successful in time? In time for what? Remember, this is a lifelong journey. Your business building adventures are a lifelong journey. If you're doing what you love and stepping more and more into that field of joy every day, then it doesn't matter how long it takes. Of course, we all need to make money in our business, and so when we think it's not happening fast enough because we need to make money, if you're in that state of desperation in your business, you probably need to get a job and or have some form of income coming from somewhere. Don't start a business when you're in desperation mode, and don't desperately seek people to support your business by paying for your services and products if you're in that state of like, I can't eat unless I get this deal, because that's not fair to yourself or the people that you get to work with. You want to be serving powerfully through your expert area or through your area where you have expertise and can bring value and transformation and solve a problem, not out of a state of desperation like, oh shit, I got to feed my family. When I started my business, I was on food stamps, and when I stepped into getting clients, I had some money and savings, just enough to know like, I got to get out there and I got to hustle, but I wasn't in a state of like, oh my God, if I don't do this, I can't eat. I always had a backup plan. It was like, okay, if in 2 months I don't find some clients, I'm going to need to go get a job of some sort. And that was my backup plan. I would not have made that decision if I were, let's say, at a corporate job and going, I want to have a side hustle. I wouldn't take the leap into that until I had at least a certain amount of money and coming in every month to give yourself a cushion. So make a transition plan. Don't put yourself in a state where it has to happen so fast or you starve, because you will be deer in the headlights, fearful, and everyone can feel that. So the people that you want to work with can feel that, and it's a really desperate, resistant, repellent energy. So in that fear, it's not happening fast enough, really assess whether you're making up a story or if it's truth. If it's truth and really you have to have money fast, figure out a way to get money other than in your business model, desperately, needily seeking people, and really just go, okay, this fear, is it real? Like, am I pissed that it's not happening fast enough because I'm being impatient, or am I actually in need of more money? If you are, then use a different solution. Okay, second fear. There's no way they'll pay for that. There's no way they'll pay for that. I hear this one all the time. I'm not good enough. My products and services aren't good enough. Other people aren't charging this much. I don't know how to charge what I'm worth. I don't think people are going to pay for that. And here's the issue with not charging what you're worth, is that it screams that you're desperate. It screams that you don't believe in what you are offering. It screams to attract people who aren't willing to pay for what they're worth. They're not willing to invest in themselves. So I want you to get over this mindset of that people won't pay for that. I want you to think about times you've paid for a product or service that was pretty expensive, and that when you were at the end of it, you were like, oh my God, I would have paid 3 times that amount because I got so much value. Offer incredible value and charge what you're worth. Up level what you are charging. Often when you double what you charge, you'll attract more people, because in their mind, the perceived value is much higher. They go, whoa, if Amanda's charging that price, it must be a really valuable program. And then I deliver. So I want you to deliver and charge what you're worth. I want you to deliver and know, like, oh my God, of course people will pay for that. Think of times again where you have paid for high dollar services that were life altering. You might have some experiences of paying for products or programs, services that you didn't get what you wanted out of it. And that's why you have this fear. You go, oh no, people aren't going to pay for that, because in your mind, you have this unconscious competing commitment fear that I've paid for programs in the past, I didn't get out of it what I wanted. So people now have this idea that if they pay a lot of money, they're not going to get what it's worth. Your bargain there, and the thing that you need to shift, is making sure you provide high value. If you're going to charge top dollar for your programs and your products and services, get results for your people, guarantee results. Know that the solutions that they're coming to you for, you can provide. So you want to make sure you know that you can get results. And that might be you practicing over time, and it might be a stair-stepper approach where you charge a certain amount at the beginning and keep up leveling very quickly. I don't want you to stay stuck in this place for a long time where you charge not enough money for your services, because you're going to get frustrated. You're going to attract people that are trouble and too challenging, and it's going to make you feel overwhelmed and overburdened. So I don't want you to keep running this fear. There's no way they'll pay for that. The flip of that is like, of course they'll pay for that. Of course I provide value and service. How can I provide the most incredible value and service for them to pay for that? How can I create a program that is worth that amount? So let's say you want to charge $5,000 for your program. Let's say it's an 8-week program and you want to charge $5,000 for it. What would you need to create in terms of value for them to pay for that? Get over the mindset of dollars for hours. You're having them pay for and invest in themselves for an outcome, for a result, to have a problem solved. You are the solution master for their problem. That's what they're paying for. Don't think like, oh, they're paying $30 an hour or $500 an hour. You think they're paying me to solve a problem. Here's what I bring to the table. And I am absolutely worth that. So let go of that idea that there's no way they will pay for that, and look for evidence around you where people have paid top dollar for programs. Look around for where people pay money for all kinds of things that they don't need. It's all perceived value, and they do need what you have. People pay for what they want, not what they need. So what it is for you, for them to pay for that, is hitting that hot button where they go like, oh, you're solving my problem. I want to feel better. I want to make more money. I want to save time, save energy, avoid effort, escape pain. You want to be charging for your service powerfully because you're helping them in those hot button issues. Okay, and then number 3, I'm not an expert. Okay, this is a big one. This is rooted in the fear of perfectionism and imposter syndrome. Really, that's what's the driver behind thinking I'm not an expert, and that keeps you up at night. Like, I'm not good enough, and this is tied to there's no way they'll pay for that, because you're thinking my program and products and services aren't that good. They're not good enough for people to pay for that. I want you to switch into this CEO badass mindset where you're like, of course people will pay for what I have, because what I offer is life transforming, is, whatever it is that you offer, it transforms people's realities. And you don't have to be an expert. Remember, you just need to be one step ahead of the people that you're offering services and programs to. One step ahead, that's it. And so you don't need to be an expert at when you put yourself out there to promote your programs and services. You just need to be contributing to a solution to their problems, and you have an answer, right? So you are a contributor, you're solving a problem, they're coming to you as, I like to think about entrepreneurs as problem-solving masters, right? They come up with a solution for a group of people, they put themselves out there, and people pay them for that solution. You don't need to be an expert. In fact, I've really noticed this interesting thing where really smart people overthink what they're offering. They overthink the whole process. They second guess themselves a lot. They doubt because they're thinking too much about it. They want to serve everyone. They're like, oh no, what about this? And what about this? And what ifing that? Your brain's going crazy thinking, I've got to know everything. You don't need to know everything. You need to know how to solve a problem for a group of people. That's it. And you don't need to be an expert in the matter of everything that you're doing. You're just creating content. You're creating solutions. And as you develop your skills over time, you will become an expert. Remember that becoming an expert is a journey and a process. You don't just become an expert overnight. The more people you work with, the more programs you create, the more services you offer, the way, like over time, you're going to develop a foundation of skills. You're going to develop new understanding. You're going to break through into new ways of thinking because you've taken the steps to get over your fear of perfectionism and imposter syndrome and self-doubt and inner critic beat up. And then you can go like, okay, awesome. I'm just one step ahead. I'm providing content. I'm contributing to the betterment of this particular group of people, your 5-star avatars that you've chosen. And I'm providing a solution for them. And that's all you need to focus on. Till you get to 6 figures and beyond, don't focus on too many things. So a lot of these fears that are keeping you up at night are about, I think of them as, sometimes it's fear of failure, fear of success, which are mixed. To me, those are the same side, 2 different sides of the same coin, right? So anytime you have a fear of success, you simultaneously unconsciously have the fear of failure. And anytime you have the fear of failure, you simultaneously have the unconscious fear of success. And so you want to play with that in your mind and go like, what am I actually afraid of? So if these 3 fears resonate with you, which I'd be surprised if they don't because I hear them all the time, then add to the list, what actually is it that keeps you up at night? I want you to think about this, reflect on it, and get conscious of your fears. Face them so that you can transform them, work with them, lean into them, own them, and keep moving forward. You're going to be afraid sometimes. That's just the reality. I'm afraid sometimes. Sometimes I wake up and I go, oh, fuck, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm scared. It makes my eyes fill up with tears as I'm saying it because I'm like, oh God, I can step into that place quickly. I mean, when I started my business, I was terrified. I had no clue what I was doing really. And I just went for it because I had the heart and the soul and the mind to go like, I know I can help people with this, with a few things. And I'm just going to learn as I go. I'm going to become more of an expert. And I'm 2.5 years into my business and I've worked with hundreds of people. I've served thousands of people through programs and podcasts and YouTube and being on other people's podcasts, speaking, all the things that I bring to the table. I've learned a ton and I've gotten better and better and better. As I decided to say in the beginning, screw perfection, just get started. Screw perfection, just get started. That way I could just let myself ease into it, know that I'm not going to be perfect. Imposter syndrome has to do with you thinking you need to be perfect and have all the answers and be an expert. Related to that, I'm not an expert fear. When you let go of that, you don't have to know all the answers. It's okay to say, I don't know how to do that. Or, you really stumped me here. I'm not sure. And I'll find the resource for you. You don't need to know all the answers. It's okay. So key takeaways for today. First, work with these 3 fears if they're coming up for you, if these resonate. So number 1, it's not happening fast enough. Number 2, there's no way they'll pay for that. And number 3, I'm not an expert. If any of these resonate with you, go back and rewind and listen again and start reflecting and getting curious about your fears. This isn't about beating yourself up. This is going like, oh my God, I am thinking it's not happening fast enough. How can I decide to take action every day and know that my success is inevitable as long as I'm consistent and constantly reflecting and making tweaks and pivots that make me better and better over time? You will get better over time. You will build a beautiful, powerful, amazing empire over time. Okay? If you let go of the fear of that it's not happening fast enough. Okay, and then number 2, there's no way they'll pay for that. Charge what you're worth. Really, really value yourself. And of course, there's a whole bunch of strategies around this. I'm actually creating a program for this. It's going to be really exciting. I mean, my main, I can't decide if I'm going to call it a course, a boot camp, a training, a program. I'm not sure which part that's going to be called, but it's going to be about charging what you're worth because so much is tied into that and you having success. And so be looking for that soon. And then I'm not an expert. You don't need to be an expert. Let go of thinking you need to know everything. That's really ego driven. Just go, I'm going to contribute. I'm going to provide a solution in this area that I've chosen with these people, and I'll get better and better over time, and really come from your heart and know that you have the power to serve people and that you have a gift to bring to the world, and that when you let go of all the BS fears that are keeping you stuck, you actually have more of an opportunity that's to make easier money, to have yourself work less, make more, and have fun, because you're letting go of all of that inner chatter, inner critic beat up, like I've got to be perfect, I've got to know all the answers, it's got to happen faster, I look like a failure, it's got to happen fast, or I need to move on to something else. Let all that go. Step into your power, own your power, love yourself, take steps every day, use the mantra, screw perfection, just get started, and plug in with me and let me know what's going on for you so I can help you. I love it when people come here and ask me questions so that I can answer them on these videos. So if you're watching on YouTube today, I want you to leave a comment and let me know, what's your number one fear that keeps you up at night? So number one fear about building your business that keeps you up at night. Let me know what it is in the comments so that I can help you out. If you're liking what you're getting here, click on the notification bell so that you can always be alerted when new videos are released. Of course, give us a like, click the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, share it. I want to see more of you here. I want you to be engaged and ask me questions, and know that I'm human. I struggle with these things too. I have had all of these things come up for me in my business, and my heart is hugely caring about helping you succeed and get over this stuff as fast as you possibly can so that you can work less, make more, and have fun. All right, that's it for today. Until next time, Anna Faye, money making high fives. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Max Potential Money. If you're ready to break through to the next level of income, go to nfamoneymakerlab.com to join the private NFA Facebook group, where you'll get weekly money mindset and practical manifestation tips, plus a free 30-day mini course called 30 Money Making Secrets. Again, that's nfamoneymakerlab.com. I look forward to seeing you there.